Hey everybody, welcome back to Behind the Score, the sixth day of the 30 teams in 30 days. It's great excitement segment leading up to the MLB season. Baseball is one of my favorite sports, so it's definitely one I get really excited for. And it's great to be able to bring this news to you and knowing that spring is just around the corner, is in 31 days. It'll be the baseball season, so I'm pretty stoked for that. And surprising today, I have decided and chose the Oakland Athletics to win the AL West. Yes, that's right. I said the Oakland Athletics will win the AL West. And there's going to be a lot of chatter with that one, as a lot of people see the Houston Astros as being the top team there. Uh, but as I went through the lineups and whatever for this division, I decided to take a risk and say that Oakland is going to win the division. So let's get into looking at the team, with the roster positions, what the lineup might look like, the pitching rotation, and then hit on some top topics when it comes to Oakland. So the roster positions at catcher, we have Sean Murphy, and he'll be backed up by Austin Allen. First, we have Matt Olson. Second, we have Chad Pinder. Third baseman is Matt Chapman. Shortstop is Elvis Andrews, who came over to the Athletics in the trade with Chris Davis going to the Texas Rangers. In left field, Seth Brown. In center field, we have Ramon Laureano. And now that we're into the AL West, there is a designated hitter, and that'll be Mitch Moreland, who used to play for the Boston Red Sox. So it should be interesting to see in that bigger ballpark if he still had the power to knock those out over the wall. In the utility spots, we could see Mark Canha, Tony Kemp. That should be an interesting player there. Vimail Machin, and Austin Allen, as I said, for the backup catcher. The pitchers for this team. For starting pitchers, it looks like to be Fears, Manaya, Montez, Lizardo, and Bassett. So now we got done with the roster spots. Let's take a look into my predictions for the 2021 lineup. Starting it off would be Elvis Andrews. This guy has got a high average in his career. He's a guy that knows how to get on base there, so that's definitely a guy I have at the top of the lineup. Laureano, I have at second. Looking at his numbers, you might wonder why I have him at second. I definitely see this guy being one that could break out in a big way. He's an amazing defender, great arm out there. So I definitely hope to see him break out this season. Then I have Mitch Moreland, the DH, batting third. This guy has been known to have lots of power. So definitely see some balls flying out, I hope, there. Then I have Chapman at number 4, the big third baseman for the Athletics. This guy is definitely a guy that could have some power as well. So driving home runs is going to be big for those two. I have Matt Olson, that plays first. I had him in the 5th spot. I have Piscotti in at number 6. Brown at 7. And Murphy at 8. And because we have a DH, the ninth spot will be Pinder, and that would usually be the pitcher's spot. Um, these are guys that could be moved all around the lineup. They hit really well. This is definitely, I think, a pitching rotation that maybe isn't as big as the Dodgers and the Padres, but I think in the AL West could give some people some problems, especially if they get on to a very good season in the beginning. So looking at the pitching rotation, I have Manaya at first. I put Fears at second. I was really reluctant to do that, but looking at it, I figured that that's probably could be a spot for him in at second. Bassett I have in third. Montez in fourth. And Lazardo rounding it out in the fifth rotation spot. So now that we've gone through the pitching rotation and the possible starting lineup and where people will be playing, now we'll touch on some of the stories when it comes to the Athletics. How big of a part will Tony Kemp play? This guy is also another one that could fit into this lineup in a big way. A guy that hits well. This team is definitely a good problem to have. You want guys to be able to hit. Then the problem becomes not people producing, but getting the people into the lineup and getting them in the bats that they need. So definitely see some movement there, and I think he will play a big role, especially on the offensive side. Like I said before, tons of versatility with this team. Players that play in different positions can move here, can move there. Even in the lineup, moving up and down the lineup, like there shouldn't be any problems of making lineups and finding guys where to play. It's more getting them the playing time and getting them at bats. And like any coach will tell you in the MLB, that's one of the best problems to have is being able to have guys and trying to find the time for them. That's what great teams are made of, and championship caliber teams that you can put your bench into the lineup anywhere, and it's not like you've really taken anything out because who you plug in is definitely a guy that could play those roles as well. Then talk about, like I said, Elvis Andrews was traded to the Oakland Athletics in exchange for Chris Davis. Like I said, the big thing with the Oakland Athletics for this season is going to be how does the pitching rotation stand up? This pitching rotation can win games and put a beat down on other teams and their rosters and getting guys out. This team should have no problem winning, not only winning the division, but definitely playing well into the playoffs. I look forward to, like you said, watching Laureano. I think this guy is one that could break out in a big way. We already know he's great on defense. Be nice to see him boost his numbers when it comes to offense as well. I think this guy definitely has the skills to do that. I actually believe I had him in one of my fantasy pools last season, and he did very well there. So I'm hoping in a big way that he can bounce out because he definitely would be a big, huge asset, not only defensively but offensively. And again, players to watch. AJ Puck, he's a left-handed pitcher, number one in the prospect list. Like I said, if anybody has a struggle in the rotation, he definitely could be a guy that gets some playing time. Robert Poussin shortstop. He's the number 2 prospect. Like I said, Elvis Andrews being acquired there. So he might not have the playing time. So either in the minors or if Oakland finds an opportunity and they do need to get over that hump or whatever partway through the season coming up the trade deadline. With Elvis Andrews, this could be definitely a guy that maybe they get for an asset or definitely plays in a big way when it comes to days off. We have Tyler Soderstrom. He's a catcher at number third on the list for prospects. And they have Sean Murphy and Austin Allen, but Soderstrom is definitely a guy, especially if he's third on the list, could potentially play himself into a spot there at some point. Nick Allen, he's the shortstop or second baseman. Number 4, like I said, either because of their infield and how great of a team this is, there may not be as many openings come available, so this could be a guy to add in later on, or even be somebody that gets some assets that the team needs to push them over the top. And Dalton Jeffries would be the next guy on the list. He's a right-handed pitcher. He's number 6 on the prospect list, so he might be a guy to watch to see how he plays, see what kind of spot he can play himself into, and what kind of playing time he gets. This could be a team, like I said, the back end of the rotation. Who knows what happens there? So there's definitely going to be some chances for some young guys if something were to happen. And that concludes the episode for the Oakland Athletics. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope you enjoy your day. Thank you again.